Mother Nature doesn't care whether you live or die. The moment something goes wrong, you either know what to do or you don't. In today's video, I'm going to show you 6 survival methods that could save your life in any type of SHTF situation. And trust me when I tell you, if you don't know these skills, your chances of survival have just dropped to 0. Knowing them and being able to do them under pressure is what definitely decides who survives and who doesn't, because survival is pretty much what being a prepared citizen is all about. My name's Will, and to me, preparedness isn't only about surviving the end of the world, it's about who we are and what we're made of. I prepare to live, and I live to prepare. I am a prepared citizen. The first thing that we're going to talk about is pretty much the most important thing that you're going to need in any type of survival situation, and that's learning how to build a fire. And what I'm about to say is probably going to infuriate some of you hardcore survivalists that watch my channel. I'm sure most of you are extremely familiar with like the bow drill as the survival tool to start a fire. Don't even waste your time trying to learn how to use a bow drill. They are completely useless. They don't even get fires going, I would say probably 80 or 90% of the time. You have to have the exact right wood species in order to be able to start a fire with a bow drill. So just forget about it. The best way to start a fire in an emergency is by using this right here, which is a ferro rod. Now in my backpack, I keep a little bit of this sawdust right here, if you can see it through the smoke. And this sawdust right here is all the shavings from my woodworking projects at the shop. You can simply just take a bunch of this fine powder like this, and you can place that down. And the way that you want to use a fire starter, I'm going to come in to show you. So here's the ferro rod right here. I got this from Walmart about 10 years ago, and you can see she is quite worn. I use this thing all the time. And the way that you want to use this is to take the toothed edge right here and strike it down on the ferro rod. You can see the sparks coming off the end there. And you want to get those sparks down into that pile of tinder right here. That's how we got this fire going in the beginning of the video. The mistake that I see a lot of new preppers or prepared people make when they're starting a fire is they don't have enough tinder nearby. They're expecting this to light all of a sudden. It's not going to. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get the fire going. And once you get that fire going, you need to have all of your sticks and things laying around to be able to put onto that fire. Yes, I brought down some pieces of pine to get this fire going easier because, well, I have to film this video. Now in my little survival rig here, my chest rig, I take this hunting every time I go, I have something pretty important in the back here. I have this little pouch and it's full of, there's a trash bag in there, there's a space blanket in here, there's a little cup for gathering water, there's a notebook, some cordage, some twine, and I'm pretty good to go. And I also have this right here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what's always going to get your fire going every single time, a lighter. Lighters are 100,000 times better than a ferro rod, and they're about a bajillion times better, if that's a word, than a bow drill or one of those push stick methods. I think I need to reality check a lot of you. If you think for 1 second you're just going to roll out into the wilderness and get a fire going like that, you are sorely mistaken. It has been raining for 2 days. We've had high winds. Everything out here is soaked. All of the leaves are soaked. The tinder is soaked. I had to find some dry branches over here just to be able to get this fire going and keep it going while we're filming this video. Another thing that a lot of people underestimate is how much firewood they need to get you going through an evening or even for a day or so. So the rule of thumb is this: once you think you have enough firewood to last a night, cut 10 times more than you have, and that will be enough to get you through one night with your fire. So just to reiterate and harp on you a little more, go out and practice learning how to build a fire. Get that ferro rod and strike till you get the fire going. You're going to find that you have about a 1 in 4 chance of being successful with that. Go on Amazon and buy a big giant case of Bic lighters. That's going to help you the most, and it's going to be a good bartering item if we have no civilization anymore. Now the next crucial survival skill that we need to learn how to do is to purify water. Without water, we're going to die. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I did just do a video all about unconventional methods of purifying water. We went over SODIS, or solar distillation methods, which is pretty much where you take a bottle of water like this and you just leave it out in the sun for 12 or 16 hours. We then went into kind of a same method, but taking one of these bottles and spray painting it completely black and leaving that out in the sun for a little bit. It was a really interesting video, and I'm surprised that not many of you who tune into my channel watched it. It didn't do very well at all, and I thought with you guys, you would love to learn how to do all of these kind of bizarro, effective ways to purify water. Now, I've said this in other videos, and I'm going to reiterate it again now. If you have to go find a source of water, meaning you're traveling away from your camp or your home to get water, you have to remember this. Water is the most dangerous place that you're going to go to in an SHTF situation. Everybody needs water to survive. So anywhere that there is water to be collected, you're most likely going to run into other people. And depending on the situation that we're going through, you probably don't want to be running into other people. So if you have to, find a different area, a place off the beaten path where not a lot of people are going to think to go to collect that water. Now, with a water bottle like this, we can actually purify the water that's inside the bottle. We make a little tripod and we want to hang the water bottle over the flames, just like you're seeing here. And if you watch, it's not actually going to allow the water or the water bottle itself to melt. It's just going to slowly and gradually heat up this water. I could hold this here for an hour or two. Just be forewarned, it is going to highly deform the bottle. You may not be able to use it again. But as long as the flames are licking where the water bottle is full of water, you're going to be good to go, and you'll be able to actually get this water here up to a boil. It's actually still warm to the touch there. So let's just recap for a brief minute. We all know we need water to survive. Be very cautious if you have to go out and gather water. Watch out for other people. Use some of the methods in that other video. In fact, at the end of this video, go watch that video. There'll be a link down in the description, and somewhere up here, there's going to be a card popping up that will take you right to that video. It's a really good video. So we have our fire going. Our water has been purified. So the next thing that we need to keep in our brains is basic first aid. Now, basic first aid and first aid kits is a topic I've covered probably a dozen times on this channel, so I highly recommend you go and check out the playlist of all of our first aid stuff. I recommend some kits that I like over there. But here's the thing about first aid. You have to have some type of a kit packed in your go bag. It doesn't matter if it's a trauma kit or just a basic first aid kit. There's some things, some necessities that we need to have in our first aid kits, and those things are going to be Band-Aids. They're crucial. Advil or ibuprofen or Tylenol. I don't care what anybody says about Tylenol. You can take it. It's okay. We also want to have some 4x4s in there, some gauze, ace bandages. I'm a big fan of throwing in a couple 3 tourniquets or maybe an Israeli pressure bandage. Those things are all fantastic to have in your emergency first aid kit. You can have the most amazing things in your kit, but if you don't know how to use them, well, herein lies the problem. So wherever it is that you live, go on the internet and find out where the Red Cross is going to be putting on some type of a basic first aid course. You can even call your local fire department and ask them if they're going to be putting on a basic first aid course. It's really important that you know how to treat minor wounds. The major wounds, look, not everybody's going to be able to sew up a wound or put in a chest tube. But knowing how to splint an ankle, knowing how to brace a broken finger, even knowing what signs to look for infection, these things are going to help you survive a lot longer when you're out here in the wilderness. The smallest abrasion, the tiniest of cut out here in this wet, cold environment, that thing can turn septic within a couple of days, and then you are really, really screwed. Probably the most important survival technique that I could teach anybody is learning how to tie knots. All right, now I'm going to show you 3 knots that every single person needs to know how to tie and know how to tie it quick. Now you got to forgive me, I've never actually demonstrated knot tying on camera before, so we're going to learn together. But the first knot that I'm going to show you is called the clove hitch. To properly demonstrate the clove hitch, we're just going to use a stick here. And pretty much the way you want to do it is place one end over the stick like this, come across the top to make an X like this, and then bring that tail end up underneath there. Can you see? There we go. And there we have your basic clove hitch. When tied properly, the clove hitch is going to give you a really good bind. This is a great way to start a lashing, and this is also a great way to tie small little button rocks around a tarp to pull that tarp down tight. The next knot, which is my favorite knot, and I literally use this knot every single day, is the bowline knot. Now, the bowline knot, or as some of my saltier friends call it, the bowline. You have seen this knot before. If you've ever watched the movie Jaws, you have seen the bowline. First thing we want to do is start with a loop just like this. And on this side, so this is our tail, on the other side we're going to make a loop. So now we have a little loop and a loop here. And we're going to take this tail end and we're going to come through the loop like this, come around the back side of that end, and then straight down in and pull it tight. And there you have a bowline. So let me show you one more time here. We've got our big loop, then we create a second loop like this. You can see there. So we're going to take our tailing end, we're going to come through the loop towards you, towards the camera. We're going to go around the back side of this like that, and then we're going to go back through that loop and we can pull it tight. And there we have a very well tied bowline. So the bowline is a fantastic knot. I use this at least once a day for tying all kinds of things. And the great thing about it is, no matter how much strain you put on that thing, if you come right in here to this bowline, right here, you can see how this loop wraps around the back there. All you have to do is simply pull down on that. It's called breaking its back, and loosen up that line. And now your knot is completely and totally untied. It's a fantastic knot. Everybody should learn the bowline. Okay, the last knot that I'm going to show you is a stopper knot. Stopper knots are very important when it comes to rope. And just so you guys know, over on my Patreon account, there is a link in the description of every single one of my videos. I'm actually going to have a knots chart over there for everybody. We're going to make this one free for all to see. So you can go over, you can download the image and put it on your phone, and you will always have reference on how to tie knots. And if you enjoy it, you know, you could throw the channel a couple bucks over there and help support us more. All right, the next knot we're going to do is a figure-8 knot, and I'm going to throw a special one in there for you too. So a figure-8 knot is pretty simple to do. All we want to do is take our rope, go around the back side of the rope, come across like this, and back up. And that's all you're doing. You're just making a figure-8. You can pull that down nice and tight. And now you have a stopper so that your knot won't, you know, pull through an object, an eyelet on a tarp or something like that. It's a fantastic knot. Now the little bonus knot here, I don't remember what it's called, so forgive me, maybe I'll put it on the screen here. But you need quite a bit of tail hanging out here. And what you want to do is you lay it over your hand, you go around 1, 2, 3 times, and then you take that tail end and pass it through like this, and then slowly just pull it all together to create your stopper knot. Now it's not super pretty, but that is how the knot looks, and that is a fantastic knot to stop going through eyelets. And it's actually much easier to undo than the figure-8, because all you have to do is pull on this little back strap right here, and we can get that knot untied very simply. So if you haven't given a damn about any other thing that I've shown you in this video, do me a favor and go out and learn yourself how to tie some knots. They are most crucial in an SHTF situation. Next thing on our list is going to be the emergency shelter, okay? This is not a shelter that you're going to be spending weeks and months or years in out in the wilderness. This is an emergency shelter. Let me make one thing extremely clear. Regardless of the weather conditions, whether it's hot, cold, rainy, windy, snowy, you are going to be miserable in any type of emergency shelter. You're probably not going to sleep. The whole purpose and the sole purpose of an emergency shelter is to keep you out of the elements, not make you comfortable. Keep the rain off your skin, keep the sun off your body, keep the wind from chilling your bones. These are the only reasons you're building an emergency shelter. Now, if I had to recommend you one shelter to build that's gonna kind of fit all of those criteria, it's gonna be the low A-frame or lean-to style shelter. Now, what you're seeing here is the field guide or Army manual on how to build an A-frame shelter. And if you want to pause the video here and screen capture, go right ahead. But I'm also going to provide a link down below to where you can buy this emergency field manual. It's not mine, it's not a sponsored thing. It's just something that I highly recommend you guys go out and buy. Now, the main thing you want to remember when you're building this kind of shelter is don't face the opening or the doorway towards the elements, towards the wind. You want to have the wind at your back all the time. Over insulate. So if you think you have enough pine boughs or branches on top of that shelter, add more. You want to make sure that your fire, your source of heat, is placed close enough so that the heat will reflect into your shelter but not burn it down. And I'm sure you guys have seen at least a few people on that, what is that, a stupid Alone TV show? I hate that show, it's so fake. But anyway, did you guys know they all get paid on that show just to be there? Yeah, they do. Anyway, now we could spend 2, maybe even 3 videos just on shelter building alone. And if that's something that you would like to see, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. And if you'd like to see me sleep out in one of these shelters through a rainstorm, windstorm, snowstorm, whatever the case may be, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. I'm going to say it again. The emergency shelter is for emergencies only. It's to get you through one night. Build it, get in it, get out of the elements, sleep, get up, and be on your way. Don't spend a lot of time dicking around making some elaborate shelter when you don't have to. Now, before we get into this topic, I just want to let you know that right after here, I'm going to give you one bonus item because I like to give you guys a bonus item. So now's a good time to stop and subscribe to the channel. Subscribing to the channel really helps me, and I can't thank you enough for doing it. Emergency signaling is a skill that I don't think really anybody knows how to do anymore. I learned how to do it in Boy Scouts, and I've kept doing it through schools like Outward Bound and having to get your Coast Guard certifications. But here's the thing. A few basic tools can help you more than you think. And I have some right here. I have a headlamp which has a strobe feature. So I can literally point this up at the sky. I can leave it on a stick or a stump. As long as the batteries are going, people are going to be able to see my location at night. One of the other items that I always carry in every single pack that I have is a whistle. I can use this whistle. You're going to hear this from miles away. Few blows of the whistle is going to let rescuers kind of sort of home in on where you are to the point where, you know, they're going to be able to pinpoint your location. These things that you're seeing right here, these emergency signaling mirrors, they are fantastic if you're in a big giant open area. If you're like me and you're out here in the wilderness, well, we have a tree canopy, and also it's not sunny today. So if there's a plane flying overhead, how the hell am I going to signal using some kind of a silly mirror? The fact is, I'm not going to be able to. So the best thing that I have found to do is that if you already have your fire going, they're going to be able to see the smoke up in the air. So if you get a bunch of wet stuff like, you know, this punky, gross wood, and you throw that on your fire, it's going to create a ton of smoke, and that plane that's looking for you is going to be able to see that smoke. But we also need to remember this too. Most search and rescue people, even ground personnel, have thermal, or at minimum, they have night vision. So they're going to be able to see, well, in the dark. So if you go on Amazon, and I'm going to try and remember to put a link down in the description. I know you guys harp on me forgetting to do it. You can buy one of these, which is an emergency strobe beacon. You can mount this to the top of your helmet or your head or hang it off your backpack, whatever. And this has a bright, visible green strobe light, but it also has an IR strobe light. And that IR strobe light is going to be able to be picked up by that night vision from an incredibly long ways away. All right, here it is, the bonus item, hunting. Yes, hunting is a survival skill that I can guarantee 80% of you watching don't know how to do. But as the prepared citizen, I am here to rectify that. If you have watched my other videos, I have been teasing a hunting series from the lens of preparedness coming up. I almost have 2 full weeks of hunting filmed for you all to watch. So I really need you to get excited. Again, hit that subscribe button, the bell notification so that you're notified when those hunting series drop. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's focused just on bow hunting. No guns required to go out and try and harvest one of these animals. It has taken me an entire lifetime to be mildly proficient at hunting, and I'm still learning new things every single day. So if you think for a second that you're just gonna roll out into the woods with your bow or your crossbow and schwack an animal first time, every time, you are sorely mistaken. So if you wanna learn how to hunt, stick around on the channel, and I am gonna teach you step by step. All right, I just used the last of my drinking water to put out this fire. It's the end of the video, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, if you have, please hit the subscribe button, bell notification, thumbs up, and make sure you check out this new hype button. I still don't know what it does, but I do know that it helps my channel out a lot. Check out the Patreon. New videos come out every single week, so stay tuned. We've got some really cool stuff coming up. Remember, the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is today. My name's Will. I'm the Prepared Citizen, and that's all I got for you.